I'm in a really public place. Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually doing a YouTube video today, partly from a coffee shop because it's about nutrition and it's about intermittent fasting, and there's so many people saying it right now. I'm going to continue. You'll probably all know by now, if you follow me from the very start or maybe a year ago, that I have done intermittent fasting, and it's something that has worked incredibly well for me, and I started doing it since I met Ben. This guy here. Now, the fast that I'm referring to is the 16-8. So you fast for 16 hours and you eat in an 8-hour window. I don't actually do it optimally, so I don't stick to that time frame exactly. I'm a bit kind of all over the place. Like sometimes I'll start eating at 11 and then I'll finish eating at 9, or sometimes I'll start eating at 2 and finish eating at 10 or 11 at night. Like, it's completely different, but I still don't wake up in the morning and have breakfast straight away. A more practical name for intermittent fasting is actually time restricted feeding, where we do it in a day rather than over a set period of time. So with I only just realised this as well because I've done loads of research into it, but time restricted feeding is like a day, and then things like the 5-2 fast, where you eat for 5 days and fast for 2 days, is more like intermittent fasting. So the purpose of this video, I am going to call it time restricted feeding. I 100% know that time restricted feeding would not work for everyone. There are some people who wake up in the morning at 7 or 8 o'clock and they are starving and they want to eat whatever's in sight. They want to have their breakfast. That's absolutely fine. There are some people who need to eat before the gym. There are some people that don't. I feel like I personally do not need to eat before the gym, unless obviously I'm training in the evening, but because I train at 7 AM, I don't eat before the gym, and I feel like it hasn't really affected my training. But I'm going to go into more detail about that later anyway. Obviously as well, I'm going to take you through a full day of eating today. I'm in Australia, so it is a bit different. We've been basically going out for brunch, breakfast in the morning, I say morning, like 2 o'clock, and then we kind of cook our own dinner in the evening and have like a snack. So I am going to show you what I'm having whilst away as well. The quote that I always refer to, and Ben does this as well, breakfast is the most important meal of the day quote, and the company who said this is actually Kellogg's, who are probably the biggest breakfast company ever, so it's no wonder that they say this. And with time restricted feeding, it's not that you cut out breakfast, it's just you shift along because you aren't hungry in the morning and you'd rather have more food and more calories later in the day. Now with time restricted feeding, it is completely tailored to your appetite, to your lifestyle, and like I said, I've done videos on this before, just like intermittent fasting, time restricted feeding in general, but I did want to go into a little bit more research with you today because I'm doing so much more reading now. I find it so interesting. I just want to give you a little bit of a deeper understanding into why I do what I do. There are some negatives to it as well. There are also some positives. That's ruining my video. Oh, also this is something that we always get asked. Do you have water and do you have coffee when you fast? Yes, like I said, we really don't do it optimally. Like optimally is like the peak. Like you're doing everything down to a T, nutritional timing, you're not having anything till like, and then you stick into the 8-hour fast. We don't do that. We just kind of, I mean, if I wouldn't be that hungry now, it's 10 o'clock, but if I was hungry now, I'd eat something. Okay, so before we actually go into more evidence-based stuff and a little bit more research so you can understand, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go and hit some legs. I'm really excited for legs. Make sure you follow my Instagram for all my workouts as well, because they are all over my page. There are a few on YouTube. There are a lot on YouTube actually, but there's a lot on my Instagram page as well. So I'm going to go and train, and then I will show you my breakfast, and then I'll meet you back here. So we have just done a 5k run on the beach, which is actually super hard. You feel like you're running backwards. Oh, there's a ladybug on my leg. And Ben's like ripped all his skin off his feet because we started running on this sand, which was like impossible, and then we moved down to the beach and it was so much easier. We've not eaten yet and it's 12:26. There's a ladybug. Oh no, have I just killed it? No, I've not. It's 12:26. We're probably gonna have food maybe in like half an hour. Gonna go for a dip in the sea and I'll show you what I get for brunch. It is now 5 to 2 and we're only just eating now. So Ben has his, yeah, the best coffee. Ben's got a soy flat white. Thank you. Oh, it's so pretty. Let me show you. Aww, look at it. I got an oat milk flat white. So that is technically breaking the fast. Now we're having our food, and it's 2 o'clock. Like I said, I don't do it optimally at all, but I'm really excited. This is like the best place in Bondi that I found for breakfast. It's called The Good One, and I will show you what I get because I'm super excited. It's so tasty. Would you take a look at that? Wow. Oh, lovely. So this is the delicious food that is breaking the fast. Not counting calories out here, I approximate that it's around, I'd say like 600 to 700. We've got some chicken breast as well because it is a little bit later today, and then we're going to have another meal later. So it's technically 2 meals a day out here and a snack, and we've been so comfortable with that because we wouldn't usually have this much food now. It just like separates into breakfast and lunch usually, but this is brunch. So just because I'm including beverages in my vlog as well, there's so many flies. I got a Joe and the Juice, which is carrot, ginger and apple. It's like my favourite. I absolutely love carrot and ginger. And I also got a ginger and lemon kombucha, which I'm gonna have a little bit later. So just to include those 2 things in there as well. Okay, let's dive into a little bit more evidence and a little bit more research. So evidence has suggested that doing time restricted feeding can actually increase satiety, so it can increase like your satisfaction, you feel like you're fuller, and it can also reduce your calorie intake. But there are still concerns around this. I think they will always just be there because like things like with the restricted calorie intake, I don't restrict my calories, I still eat the same amount of calories, but it's pushed back. But because some people find that when they start eating at like 12 or 1 o'clock or whatever it is, and then they have to finish at 8, they feel very, very full in that 8-hour period of time. So they actually end up putting themselves into more of a calorie deficit, which is why they lose more fat. But these are kind of things that I'm just throwing in the basket. This is also a really good point that Ben has just said to me. So it is probably the closest diet to binge eating. So binge eating is where you eat a mass amount of food in a very restricted time period. But I mean, this is literally like 15 minutes and you eat like 2,000, 3,000 calories. But what can happen is if you've saved more calories for the evening, in your head you kind of think you have more, and then you might go over a little bit and then just keep going over and over and over because you've had so much food in a short period of time. So it can be a little bit, it's not, we wouldn't say it's dangerous, would you? But it's just something that you need to be aware of if you are doing time restricted feeding. Now, this is something a bit more to do with your muscle growth and your protein intake. Now, muscle protein synthesis is followed after you have eaten protein. So let's just pretend you've eaten a chicken breast. And studies have suggested that muscle protein synthesis cannot be re-stimulated for a good 3 to 4 hours. So if you are doing intermittent fasting, it's kind of like limiting the amount of time and the opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur. So in theory, is this going to affect your muscle building when you're bulking, or is it going to affect retaining your muscle and continuing to build muscle when you're in a deficit because you haven't had that protein straight away? But there is a huge positive to this whole thing. So they were just the negatives that I digged out from the research, and obviously they are valuable and they are things to note, but fasting is a suitable strategy for people who lift. So if you are watching this video and you resistance train, so resistance train for reference is just weight training, so it's what I do on a day-to-day basis, this could be a very valuable thing for you to actually do. So when you resistance train or when you weight train, so say you've just hit legs at the gym, it causes a huge and sustained increase in muscle protein synthesis. So like I said before, whereas this gap was 3 to 4 hours after protein intake, if you resistance train, it can actually prolong muscle protein synthesis for you, which gives you more opportunity to reap benefits of muscle protein synthesis, which is just building muscle, because if you resistance train, this can prolong for up to 24 hours. So rather than 3 to 4 hours of maybe just somebody who doesn't do any sort of training compared to someone who weight trains, they will have this muscle protein synthesis elevated for 24 hours. So time restricted feeding is actually a really, really good approach for people who do lift, as long as they have a high protein intake and as long as they're sticking to that 8 approximate window of feeding. That's where it would work best. So like I said, I don't do it completely optimally, and that's not what I'm saying, and that's not what the research says either. But having a high protein diet, intermittent fasting, time restricted feeding can work for you if you are a lifter. The thing that I want you to take away from this video is that no diet or type of like nutritional strategies are perfect. There are always flaws in absolutely everything, no matter what it is. It could be the fact you are following a keto diet, you could be paleo, you could be vegan, vegetarian. There's always so many ins and outs and positives and negatives of these different diets. But summing up, basically in terms of what I've said, if you follow a high protein diet and you have a high protein intake, intermittent fasting can be very good for you. It is flexible, your satiety increases, your calorie intake will probably decrease over a period of time if you're in a deficit. Obviously it's super helpful for you to stay on track, and it is actually going to affect how you build muscle over a certain period of time. Okay, so that's the sciencey bit over. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I just want to give you as much information as possible about why I do what I do. Now I'm going to go in and get my dinner. Cooking. So here we have dinner. We have probably around 250 grams of chicken, onion, peppers, broccoli, pumpkin, which is our absolute fave, and then a whole bag of lettuce, tomatoes, and then numerous sauces, garlic aioli, which is the best, and then also burger sauce, which is incredible. I'm not 100% sure what the calories are for this dinner. Like I said to you, I'm not tracking. And then for dessert, I have 2 kiwis and a Freddo, because, you know, Freddo a day keeps the doctor away, as I always say. So that was my what to eat in a day / intermittent fasting video. I really hope you enjoyed it. A bit more of a foodie, kind of my life kind of thing. But I'm gonna eat my dinner before it gets cold. Please give this video a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.